Listen, it's 33 days to the election, and I think most people have made their choice up. And I think this is going to be who gets the vote. To me, I think it's a 50-50 call right now on who's going to win. And you're going to see it all in 7 states, 42 counties, and about 100,000 votes. It's a crazy way to elect a president. I do think, though, going forward, both the House and the Senate and whoever's in the executive side is going to be pro-crypto. I've spent a lot of time with different congressmen and senators. I'm seeing one today on the Republican side. And they all kind of get it now. This is an important technology for America.
Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz has shared what he believes will be the next major driver for Bitcoin and crypto asset prices in 2024. The renowned business executive pointed to options trading for spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds as a significant catalyst, which could propel Bitcoin to new all-time highs once regulators give their final approvals. In a recent interview with CNBC, Novogratz highlighted how crucial the upcoming months will be for Bitcoin, crypto prices, and the overall digital asset space. As a frequent advocate for crypto regulation in Washington, the billionaire expressed optimism that clear and favorable regulations for the cryptocurrency industry in the U.S. are just months away. He also stated that regardless of the outcome of the November election, he is confident that the industry will see proper regulation. Novogratz further predicted that anti-crypto SEC Chairman Gary Gensler will likely be removed from his position soon. We will now show clips from the interview, where Mike Novogratz shares his bullish outlook on Bitcoin's price and the future of the U.S. cryptocurrency industry.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
Yeah, listen, the Fed is going to keep moving rates lower. How fast they do, we'll see. I think Chairman Powell was pretty straightforward yesterday. The data is going to matter. I think he'd like to move rates faster, lower faster, but he's not going to be a kamikaze. And so right now you're pricing at about 33 basis points for each of the next meetings. That's probably fair. And we'll see with payroll and a few other big data points. Listen, I think almost more importantly than what the U.S. is doing is what China just did, right? We've got now the 2 biggest economies in the world cutting rates and pumping liquidity into the system. And at the same time, we're going to have an election, and either candidate wins, we're going to have a lot more regulatory clarity. And it was really interesting what Walt Bettinger said. He said, well, if we had regulatory clarity, then Schwab would probably be much bigger in crypto. I think there are scores of TradeFi companies and large ones with the exact same idea. And I'm really confident that a year from now, we will have regulatory clarity. I spent a lot of time speaking to people around the Harris campaign. The one thing that comes clear is this is going to be a first-term presidency, not a second Biden term. And that means different personnel, different policies. They are going to shift away from the Elizabeth Warren faction, which really, I think most Democrats realized it was a fool's errand. Like, why are you standing in the way of a technology that's important? I think it's relatively simple what D.C. has to do. They have to pass a market infrastructure bill that's not too suffocating, right? Tell us where we're regulated. One reason we don't have a lot of apps on top of these blockchains is that companies are scared to build. Real companies are scared to build apps on top of blockchains because they're not sure if they're going to get arrested for issuing a token or not. And so once there's clarity, you'll see a lot more innovation on blockchains. And so it's a market infrastructure bill, a stablecoin bill, and it's a direction to the OCC to let TradeFi companies hold crypto on their balance sheets. Those 3 things, and I'll stop going to Washington as the whole crypto community.
What are you hearing as it relates to the ETFs and how big the inroads have been?
That's a slower process than I think the market anticipated, right? Like a lot of these big platforms are just starting a month ago, starting this month, starting next month. And so I think this will be a, ongoing play over the years, not over the months. The next big jolt to Bitcoin is going to be when we have options that trade on the ETFs. The SEC said they're coming. I don't know if it's in 3 weeks or a month, but we will have.
And what do you think that jolt is worth?
If you look at MicroStrategy as the one place right now you can get leverage on Bitcoin as a retail investor, it trades at more than 2.3 times the value of the Bitcoin it has, mostly because of the options. It is the single, often most weeks, it's the single largest, option stock in the whole market. And that tells me something, that there's a whole bunch of young guys on Robinhood that want to play crypto and want to do it with leverage.
Late last month, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission approved options for BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, a move that was quickly praised by several prominent Bitcoin investors, including MicroStrategy founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor. Senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas shared the news in a social media post, noting that the SEC had fast-tracked the approval for listing and trading options on BlackRock's IBIT. According to Balchunas, other spot Bitcoin ETF issuers are expected to receive approvals soon, marking a significant victory for Bitcoin and the broader crypto market, as it will bring more liquidity and attract large institutional investors. Michael Saylor was one of the first to emphasize the significance of the SEC's approval, stating that it would accelerate institutional adoption of Bitcoin. He also highlighted additional developments that could further advance mainstream acceptance of Bitcoin ETFs, such as the SEC granting exemptions to banks like BNY Mellon from its SAB 121 accounting rule, which currently prevents banks from holding Bitcoin for their clients. However, further regulatory approvals are still required, as the OCC and CFTC have yet to approve IBIT's options listing, though this is expected in the coming week. Additionally, the SEC is anticipated to grant SAB 121 exemptions to select banks. In a recent discussion with Yahoo Finance, Mike Novogratz once again expressed optimism about the future of cryptocurrency regulation following the November elections. Here's a clip from the interview.
Let me say that it was unbelievably painful that the Biden administration was as bad on crypto as they were. Categoric, un-American, unfair. We've had an SEC that literally has lost many cases in court and just persists at being very difficult to deal with for crypto.
Do you think that...
I think Kamala Harris will pivot. I think she's a practicalist. I think she came from an innovation capital of America, so she sees what innovation does, right? She's from San Francisco, or Oakland. So far, the campaign has said they will be a pro-crypto candidate. That's all they've said. And I think they would have said a lot more if the campaign wasn't going so well. Like, she came into office and had this surge of enthusiasm, surge in the polls, and I think my own guess is they're doing a lot of listening and they're not doing a lot of talking because it's working.
Is that a mistake, though? Is that too complacent to sort of take that crypto vote for granted or to not talk about it?
Sun Tzu, I think crypto's a small piece of the arsenal for them. I think they're looking at that Sun Tzu quote, when your enemy is self-annihilating himself, just step back and allow him, I mean, the Trump campaign is making mistake after mistake after mistake, from eating dogs to, the debate performance. And so I'm hoping from a crypto perspective that they come out and make some more positive comments. I know there's a lot of meetings happening with her advisors, and I think her future transition team that is going to help shape policy. And quite frankly, there's not that much for the government to do. There is an attitude change. There's a market structure bill, a stable coin bill, a directive to the OCC to allow banks to hold crypto on their balance sheet, and some accounting changes. And then we wouldn't have to be in Washington for the next 10 years.
There's one thing you didn't mention that I want to ask you about. You mentioned Gary Gensler. Do you think Harris needs to remove him as head of the SEC?
100%. And I think he's at the end of his term. Like, I think certainly if Trump gets in, there's a different SEC. But if Harris gets in, I'm 96% certain Gensler won't be there. No one wants to start a new regime with someone with that much baggage at this point. And so we'll see what the SEC does in this interim period. How Gensler, does he try to pivot to act like he gets some things done so he can say, yeah, business as usual, or does he stay as stubborn as he's been on some of these issues? We'll see.
In other news, American director and producer Cullen Hoback claims to have uncovered the true identity of Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, and plans to reveal it in a new HBO documentary set to release next Wednesday. The documentary, titled Money Electric: The Bitcoin Mystery, will feature well-known figures in the cryptocurrency world, including Blockstream CEO Adam Back and January 3rd CEO Samson Mow. Hoback, an acclaimed investigative filmmaker, is known for his 2017 documentary What Lies Upstream, which exposed a chemical spill that contaminated drinking water in West Virginia. The film was highly successful, and many expect Hoback to deliver a similarly impactful performance with his upcoming Satoshi reveal. Do you think he'll successfully unveil Satoshi's identity? Share your thoughts and comments on Novogratz's interview in the section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.